Hey guys, this is Coach Janelle with the Throwing Factory. Welcome to episode 57 of our Talking Throws podcast, Texas style. We want to thank our sponsors. Before we get into this, we have amazing sponsors for season 4. Texas Track and Field Coaches Association. Go to ttfca.org for all the latest news in Texas Track and Field. He's got information about his winter clinic out there. Indoor meets that are posted here in 2022 are up, ready to go. All of the recruits, people that are already signing, is out there on the website. And then he's also got the Hall of Fame class that's going to be inducted at the winter clinic. So go check that out. Fourthrows.com for quality implements priced right. Go to fourthrows.com, use the code TalkingThrows10 to get 10% off. They've got lots of great training tools on sale right now. They also are selling the new Fiber Sport Discus, so you can go check those out. Porta Circle, porta-circle.com, making throwing more accessible. Go to porta-circle.com and use the code TalkingThrows10 to get 10% off. We know winter's coming. You can use your Porta Circle in the garage, somewhere in a gym, in a classroom. If you're high school or middle school coach and weather keeps you from being outside to start training those kids, get you a Porta Circle. If you're in the Austin area, go to Ready Up Athletic Development, readyupad.com. Check out what Zach Phillips is doing in the Austin area. Reach out to him at 512-507-8347. Follow him on Instagram or on Facebook. Also, Fiber Sport Discus. Welcome to a new way to get the distance. Fiber Sport Discus is taking the guesswork out of discus selection. It's not all about rim weight. Give Bruce Caldwell a call. This is one of his, I believe this is one of his 2K discus. Okay, really nice looking discus. Not all about the rim weight. Go to fibersportdiscus.com or call Bruce at 817-819-1472. And then again, check us out at thethrowingfactory.com. We got Coach Kai and Coach Charvis in the area. If you're looking to get involved in any throwing, reach out to those guys. Go to that website and find that. There's also places you can buy some apparel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, give us some comments. If you're listening to it on a podcast, give us a like, subscribe to it. Let us know how we're doing. Thanks you guys for listening, and let's get into part 2, episode 57 with Shelbi Vaughn-Walley.
So what was the agreement? So you were going to do volleyball during the season, and once it was over, then you would concentrate on throwing. Is that how it worked?
Yes. That's what, I went into my visits and stuff, and that's what I told them I wanted to do.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, you either let me do it or you didn't let me, like you agreed to that, or I wasn't going to that school. So we had a really good agreement that volleyball was volleyball season and track was track season. So during volleyball season, I wouldn't do anything for volleyball, during track season, I wouldn't do anything for volleyball. And during volleyball season, I didn't do anything for track. I would go and watch, like they would go and play sand volleyball and stuff, and it would kill me. I'd want to play so bad, but that was my agreement. I wouldn't do anything with track during the season. And so it worked out really well for a few years. And then it got to my junior year, and the volleyball coach was starting to pull me more. Like, I need you here more. I need you to practice more. I need you to come to practice after track practice. And I was like, I can't handle that. Like, that is just a lot. My body can't handle it. And I actually, my freshman year of college, I threw out my back really bad.
Playing volleyball?
I threw out my back. I actually was petting my dogs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the doctor said it was just wear and tear over the years from all the sports I've done. And it was a specialist in Dallas, and he told me that when he first saw me, he thought I would never be able to throw or play volleyball ever again. And this was in 2012.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because your back was that bad?
Yeah. It was 2 herniated and 1 bulging.
Oh, Lord.
So, and it was really bad. I mean, at the time I could hardly walk. And I told my trainers, I was like, listen, like, I don't want to have surgery, and I have to continue to throw and play volleyball. Like, I was determined.
Yeah.
And they helped me a lot. They took multiple classes in order to learn about herniated disc and stuff, just to help me. So they both worked together, my volleyball trainer and the track trainer. They worked together on a rehab regimen for me to do. And it took about 8 months before I could even start doing the simplest things as like jog and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's intense then, though.
Yeah. So there was no volleyball, no throwing during that 8 months period of time.
Mm-mm. Yeah, this was it actually happened right before it was right after SECs. So I competed at SECs my senior or my freshman year of college, and then it happened right after that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was not able to move on to nationals or anything.
Really? Okay. So so that's the reason there's that little gap there. I wondered about
Yeah.
that. Okay. Well, so dealing with that situation, getting back to Chico, what was that environment like of actually going to throwing college, being around Chico, and being in College Station that first year?
I love College Station. I love Texas A&M track and field as well. I love everything about it, everyone in it. It was really hard transition for me for volleyball. I think volleyball is just a different world in general. And I don't think I fit into that. There were a couple of us on that team that felt the same way. And actually one of the girls is one of my best friends. So something great came out of volleyball at Texas A&M, and I'm not downing it at all. It just wasn't for me. It was still a great experience. I learned a lot from it. But other than that, I loved everything about Texas A&M. My freshman year, it was perfect. Everything, track and field, it was just a family, especially the throwers. Like we all came together, hung out all the time, even outside of practice. Like we never got tired of each other.
Yeah. We didn't ask this earlier, just for clarification for our listeners. What position did you play in volleyball? Were you an outside
I pretty
hitter?
much played all the way around.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Any position as well. Typically volleyball players they're specifically a middle or they're specifically a right side. And I went into college maybe an outside middle.
Okay.
And they transitioned me to be a right side as well. And then I thought I was okay, I'm officially a right side. And then randomly on game day, she threw me in as a middle. So I've just always said I'm any position. I've never really been declared one position.
Okay, so talk about being a student athlete. You're at A&M, you're a dual sport athlete. You were very busy. How did you manage all that? Because school is hard that freshman year, and I can't even imagine how difficult it is at A&M, thrown into everything that you're thrown in. How did you manage all that?
I almost didn't manage it, honestly. I got really, really close to failing out of college. It was really close. And I figured that out, and I got with the administrators and stuff, and we got tutoring help. Luckily, there's all kinds of help on campus and stuff. And I really had to get focused on, this is my practice time, this is my study time. And I had to really hone down on that, because in college, it's really easy to get away from that, especially because everybody wants to live the college life. But I had to realize really quick that, that wasn't really an option for me, because I never had an off season. So I didn't really get to, goof around or anything like that. So I was always had to stay pretty, sound in what I was doing at all times.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you figured that out quickly and didn't fail out of college. Some kids don't figure that out and realize, oh, I'm here to be a student and then an athlete and not the party animal.
Right.
Especially in College Station.
Yeah, no kidding.
So your freshman year, you're working with Chico. You said, the language barrier was a little bit of an issue when you first met him. What assessment, was you trusting of him to carry you on? Because you've already thrown 198, which might have won NCAAs that year as a senior. What was that relationship like? Was it a trusting relationship early? And how did that move forward?
I think so. Chico pretty much, Chico wasn't not going to coach me, but he
Yeah, of
pretty
course.
understood and told me, he's like, well, you're really good already. And it was kind of like an Adam Sutliff situation where he was too afraid to touch me because he didn't want to make it worse. So I think he pretty much picked one thing that we were going to work on, and he stuck with that for a while instead of trying to change all these things all at once, because what works for one athlete might not work for another. And so he really understood like where I was and where I started from, and that he saw something else that he really wanted me to work on. And I mean, it obviously worked as well. And so I think that trust from my previous coaches just kind of translated over into that. And obviously he's at Texas A&M, so he has to know a little bit about it, whether it's more of a javelin thrower than a discus, or javelin coach than he is a discus coach.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
How many times did he try to cock you into coaching throwing the javelin?
Actually, he never did.
Never?
Yeah. And I honestly, I almost feel like the volleyball coach told him that I'm not allowed to throw it.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah.
Okay. Knowing Chico, he would turn anybody into a javelin thrower.
Oh, absolutely. And notoriously volleyball players. So
Yes.
so I was right up his alley.
Yeah, you would have, get right in with that.
That is funny. So you break the school record your freshman year, correct?
Yes.
Oh,
First
wow.
throw of my freshman year.
First throw your freshman year?
First throw.
Yeah.
It wasn't a scratch.
It wasn't a scratch. No, I don't always scratch.
What was the competition like? Because I'm sure everybody knew who Shelbi Vaughn was, the girl that just made the Olympic trial. What was it like, stepping up into that stage? Because now you're in the SEC, which is a very tough conference, especially when it comes to throwing.
I think it was way different. All these girls were all in college to throw. And so they knew that the competition was a little bit different. And it was really funny. Everybody in college has always been a lot more talkative than high school. And we would show up to meets and stuff, and they would all say, all right, who's getting second? And that was kind of their ongoing joke with me. And, I stay level headed, and I'm like, well, anything can happen, because it's true, anything could happen.
Yeah.
But
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine.
I was going to say, now you also picked up weight and hammer, right?
I did not pick weight and hammer up until junior year, and I really wish I started sooner.
And that was probably because of your back situation.
Maybe. I just don't think we ever thought about it. And then I was throwing weight for a workout, and then it went kind of far. And then Chico said, you're throwing in the meet this weekend. So that's kind of how that went.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you would think with someone of your natural strength that you would have been a heck of a weight thrower, hammer thrower.
Oh, I definitely would have. I think if I started sooner, I could have probably, I'm not going to say a Deanna Price, but.
Come on, you can say Deanna Price.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'd be a Deanna Price, but I think I could go to a couple nationals, hang in there a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you still throwing the shot put too? Or did that go away once you got?
No, I did shot put my freshman year and went to conference. I didn't go past conference. I don't remember what place I got. And then I also did it my senior year.
Oh,
and
okay. But not your sophomore or junior.
No, I was done with shot put. I did not even throw shot put at all my senior year until conference. And Chico told me, we need more points, you're throwing. And I somehow got 8th.
Oh, there you go. You got a point at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now,
Cool.
Was it something you just, now honestly, because I come across a lot of kids that like discus, or they like shot put and don't like the other. Were you kind of that mentality that they don't go together because one's maybe not feminine enough or anything like that?
I've never been like, oh, that's not feminine, I can't do it. Yeah. I'm pretty much the opposite. I'm like, oh, you tell me I can't do it, I'm gonna do it.
Gotcha.
So, but no, I just, I don't know if it's because it didn't go as far as a discus, or, it did hurt my body a lot more. I've had so many jammed wrists and fingers because of volleyball, and just that I couldn't really do the whole the flick of your wrist at the end of the shot put, like with the shot put pushing it back and stuff. It just always hurt my hand and my wrist. And so I was having to tape up so much and was like, I don't want to have to force myself to be in this pain anymore when I'm just, I mean, I was still a pretty good shot putter, but I wasn't going to hang with the big timers. So
yeah. Now you were, and we're not going to go over all because we could be on here 4 hours of all your records and all.
Hudson's going to wake up at some point.
But you're 4 times SEC champion and 2-time national champion. Out of those 6 titles, if you would tell us which one probably means the most to you that you accomplished, given the situation of you throwing at A&M.
Man. I think there's 2 that stand out, honestly. My sophomore, junior year SECs, it had to been sophomore. It's the first time over 200. It was 203. And that was SECs, and I think the first time I broke the record the first time. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You're doing great.
Yeah. But I think that one was one of the standouts because it's the first time I finally hit over 200. And it was kind of like really exciting. I've been trying to hit that 200 mark for over a year now, and finally getting it. And then I think the next one would be junior year nationals, because that's one of those track meets where I said I had to just get a throw in to make it to finals when I'm supposed to win. So there's a lot of pressure. I'm coming off of being a national champion already my sophomore year. And so junior year, there's all that pressure. And I just throw an easy one to get into the finals. And then finals, I have a scratch. And walking into the ring, the announcer goes, well, here's Shelbi Vaughn. She's favored to win. She has 2 scratches. Can she do it?
Oh no.
And like I just mentioned, and I'm walking into the ring as well. And as I just mentioned, if you tell me I can't, I'm going to do it. So of course, I go in there, I get my head straight, and I go and throw the winning throw. So
you need to thank the announcer, because some
right,
people are like, oh, but you're like, let me show you, buddy. Yes, I can.
Thank him, but don't do it again.
Yeah.
So I gather you're a little hard-headed too, that if someone tells you no, that tells you can't do it, then you're going to kind of maybe do it out of spite. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been working out in a new gym for 6 months now. Once I started working out again after having my baby, there's always a girl weight on the board and a men's weight on the board. So I overheard the guys talking one day, and they're like, oh, well, that's girl weight, talking to another guy. And I'm like, okay, well, what's wrong with girl weight? Like, I lift and I'm lifting what you're lifting, so does that make it girl weight? And so there's this ongoing joke at the gym now, like anytime somebody's lifting lighter than usual, it's girl weight. And it's just to give everybody mess and just mess with them.
I was thinking that hard-headedness, when you start telling him no, you may have some little payback for your hard-headedness. It's honestly funny that you mentioned that, because we just now started working on no. Yeah. I don't think it's ever too early once he starts understanding, and he laughs at me. Yeah. And it's the cutest thing, but it is not okay. Oh, yeah. And your mother may be like, that's right. You're paying for your Shelbi. Yeah. There's that hard-headedness coming out.
That's fun. No, getting back to a couple things, we have to talk a little bit about throwing. So that your junior year too, you make world championships.
Yeah, in 2015.
Yeah, and you go and you make 14th place and you throw over 60 meters. That had to be a satisfying accomplishment, considering the trials and everything else.
Yeah, it really was. And it kind of, I could have done better than 14th. It was kind of disappointing that I didn't even make it to the finals, but I was 20. I was 20, about to be 21. I celebrated my 21st birthday over there. And it was really cool to kind of set that up to where I could possibly possibly be in 2016 for the Olympics.
Uh-huh.
Just knowing where I was at compared to the other girls that I'll be competing with.
Was it, now I'm curious too, did Chico go with you to that meet?
No, I don't know, other than Lil France, if I've ever had a coach at one of my bigger meets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that something you chose to do?
No, I just don't know that we were ever able to like
Coordinate
fund it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those get expensive.
Yeah.
So 2016 comes around, and then you make the trials.
Mm-hmm.
You have a great day, and now you're an Olympian and go to Rio.
Yeah.
Now you're there with Kelsey Card and Whitney Ashley. Now walk us through the satisfaction of actually being in the trials and making that Olympic team.
Luckily for me, a lot of these girls, it was their first trials, because of a lot of the other girls have already retired. And so there was a lot of new faces. Luckily for me, I'd already had the experience at the trials in 2012. And so in 2012, I really got to take in like, oh, there's a world record being broke over there. Ashton and Eaton broke the record.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then, Lolo Jones was really big too. So I was like, oh, Lolo Jones is about to run. Like, this is all in 2012. So in 2016, I didn't have to worry about that. I was like, okay, been here, done that. I know who these people are, moving on. And a lot of them were my teammates the previous year too. So I'm like, love y'all to death. Hope you do great, but I'm focusing.
Don't worry about me.
And so I think that's what really helped me kind of set apart from everybody else, is that I didn't have the distractions or the nerves.
Now, when you now you got second, who won that trials? I can't remember.
Whitney
won it. Okay. Whitney
Mm-hmm.
got first and you got second. Now,
Yeah.
did you have any communication with Michelle Carter, because she was going to the Olympics too in 2016?
Mm-hmm.
DFW girls,
Yeah.
right down the road from each other. Did y'all kind of have any communication during that time?
Oh, a little bit. Me and Michelle have talked back and forth here and there. We met at the Texas Relays officially. A while back. Probably in 2012 when I was there and I broke the record.
Okay.
So that I kind of knew her going into trials in 2012. And then her dad would always come to track meets at A&M too. So I really got to know him.
Okay, cool.
But we didn't do we didn't really hang out a whole lot.
Gotcha. I was just curious about that. So you go to Rio. What was that experience like? I think too, a fellow Aggie javelin thrower was going down there with you, Maggie Malone.
Yeah, Maggie.
Yeah, and so that had to be comfortable that you kind of had your inner circle was down there with you as well.
Well, it was kind of hard because Maggie actually got there a little bit later than I did. So I think we were only there 2 days at the same time. And my family came, it was great that they were able to come, but at the same time, it was very stressful because they were, they wanted to get the whole experience. I wanted to get the whole experience, and then making sure they were where they needed to be and stuff. And then they were asking me a bajillion questions. And I was like, well, I don't know. I get on the bus and I go,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, you got to fend for yourself. And I think a lot of Olympians will say that too. Like, they love their family being there, but it's stressful. And they actually tell you, like, the coaches and team leaders and stuff will tell you that too. Like, it's great that your family's there, but try to separate yourself from them. And I think if I do it again, which hopefully I do, it'll be different. Well, this time I'll have a kid this time, so I'm not sure how different it'll be. But I definitely won't stress so much about trying to get the whole experience in.
Yeah. And you think that if that, and you don't have to answer this, it might be a stupid question, is do you think that kind of put you in that situation where you performed like you did a little bit?
Well, none of us performed well at all. And I think that had a little bit to do with it, but it was mainly the weather delays we were having. We had to warm up at a different facility, then ride a bus over, and then we sat there for an hour. And then we finally got to go out, but then it started to storm. So we had to come back in. Then we got to go back out and we had to come back in. So it was really hard, I think, for everyone.
Oh, yeah, for
And
sure.
so if you look back, if you're able to look back and see like everyone's marks, even Sandra didn't have a good mark until maybe her second to last or last throw.
Yeah.
You know, and I think she barely pulled that one out. And then Whitney and Kelsey both scratched their throws. So it was just not a good situation for anybody. And I think that was probably the worst year for everyone.
Yeah. Not the ideal environment for discus.
No.
Welcome back, track people. This is Brandon, owner of fourthrows.com. We're a fast and growing track and field company that specializes in the throws. With our speed shipping, implement warranties, and rock bottom prices on javelins, discuses, shot puts, and hammers, call us up today to talk directly to one of the owners at fourthrows.com.
Sure. So you come back to the States, you know, you're an Olympian. I guess you could say you've met your goals as far as being an Olympian, maybe not where you wanted to place or throw. So what's been going on since then? Your mom, tell us a little bit about your husband, how y'all met, you know, tell us about your baking. When did the baking start?
Yeah. Okay. So I come home from the Olympics. I moved back home to Azle, and then, I just kind of hang out with my family a little bit. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's okay.
There you go.
All right. I kind of hang out with my family a little bit, and then I try to do the whole dating scene, and it wasn't for me. You know, there's not many dudes that are big and tall in my area. So I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to hang out. I'm good with family. And then, so my husband's brother and I actually went to school together. Actually, me and my husband went to school together. He was a grade younger, and his brother is a grade older, but we were all friends. And he was getting married, and so I went to his engagement party.
Okay.
And then me and his brother, which is my husband now, we just hit it off, even though we've known each other for years. And apparently he tried to date me in high school by asking me for help in discus. And I just totally blew him off.
That's awesome. Poor guy.
So, and I tell him all the time, like, you did not want to date me back then. I'm much better now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's always fun.
So how long have y'all been married?
Almost 3 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been together 5 years total dating.
Okay. Cool. Now, what line of work is he? Was he a former thrower, athlete? You know, did that discus pan out for him?
No, not really.
No.
Yeah.
He wasn't any good.
Right. No, not anymore. He threw a little bit in high school. And he is an electrician.
Awesome.
So he works for, my brother owns his electrical company. So he works for my brother. It's kind of a whole family deal. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's great.
So tell it, you know, you're a new mom, Hudson, 7 months. What has that experience been like for you?
It's been so great. I've wanted to be a mom for a long time. You know, I've always loved babies, and I've always been ready to be a mom too. It's been pretty much what I expected, except for more. I love it because I don't want to make excuses for him. I think it's really easy to be like, oh, well, I can't anymore. I just had a baby, you know? So, but the way I'm kind of looking at it is I want to be able to show him that you can, even though you just had a baby, or you can, even though you just, whatever it might be.
No, that's
So
awesome.
how does this little baking company come about?
So my friend was having a baby, and I was helping plan her baby shower. And I really didn't want to pay all that money for those darn decorated cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And so my sister-in-law knew how to do them. So she taught me, and I was like, oh, this is pretty easy. And it just kind of took off from there. And so I make those darn expensive decorated cookies, but I don't charge nearly as much as everybody else. It's crazy.
So you just do the cookies? Do you do pies or cakes or anything like that?
Oh no, I do cookies and cookie cakes. That's about it.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I remember that.
Yeah, so I started that about 2 years ago, I think.
Oh, wow. So is the plan to eventually maybe try to open your store up and stuff eventually? Or is that just...
I don't know that I'll ever open a store
Okay.
just because there is so much overhead and it's just so easy to do out of your home.
Gotcha.
The cottage law protects that. So
Yeah.
it's super easy and I don't have to pay rent and I don't have to get all this crazy equipment put in there. So
That's cool. Now,
and I get to
growing
work
up,
from
were
home.
did you like to cook or bake or anything like that?
No, not
No.
even close. My husband does the cooking.
You just found you another niche.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So coming back, I know you tried to. Were you pursuing to make the trials this year in throw?
Yeah, the goal was to make it to trials. I knew it was kind of far out there to make the team, but you never know. I also had no idea where my body was going to be after having a baby. And so soon after having a baby, I started working out again at 3 weeks postpartum. And I pretty much said, it's going to happen now. I have to go full force or it's not going to happen at all.
Okay.
Because I initially was like, okay, I'm going to go for walks here and there. I'm going to start out slow. I'm not going to push my body. And then after talking to my trainers, we all decided like, no, we're going. Like, we're not going to be dumb about it. We were not going to go lift 500 pounds.
Yeah.
But we were going to go full force as much as my body at that time would allow me. And it sadly didn't happen. I was a couple meters off making it into trials, which I'm honestly okay because that was still 2.5. I had 2 months to compete.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was within 3 weeks of having a baby.
Yeah. So are you still training to plan to get ready for 2024?
Yeah. So I've been working with Ryan Whiting.
Okay.
And we've both decided that at this time, like, we just want to drill and get in the gym, lose a little bit of weight, get my speed back. We've both decided that my power is still there. I don't have to worry about, getting any stronger. So it's pretty much just drilling at the moment and trying to get a little bit of my speed back. And a lot of it is from my core. I've lost a lot of my core after having the baby. And so I'm really trying to focus on that. And I think once I get that back, then everything's going to click.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. Awesome. Good for you. Well, we look forward to hearing about that. For sure. Final question. I hear you're a hell of a volleyball coach.
A little bit. I've done a little bit of coaching here and there, and I finally got me a team that I think we're going to do really well, kind of the big leagues this time. So good. I'm really excited about that. We're at Texas Pistols.
Okay.
And yeah, it's the 16-year-olds and it's the top team. So we should be going to nationals, if not winning nationals. That's the goal.
Good for you. So are your girls that are on your team, are they from just the Azle area or all over the Metroplex or?
The Metroplex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I coach at Danny Jones in Mansfield, and a ton of our kids play club volleyball and do all that. So I didn't know if there was any kids in that area, but that's a big thing. That club volleyball is awesome.
Do you see yourself doing coaching, select and track and field as maybe when you decide to put up the throwing shoes?
Oh yeah. Even now I do lessons and stuff. I coach.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, and I'd love to do even if it's something small, like just to introduce throwing, but I'd love to get a throws team together in Azle. I think a lot of it, especially in my area, comes from not even nobody knows about throwing still. And so I feel like there's so much talent, especially in Azle. We have all these naturally strong kids that could be really good at throwing. And I think I just need to find a way to get it out there. Like, hey, free lessons all day on Sundays or something, just to see who shows up.
That'd be cool. I'm curious with your experience and your background and definitely your name, what do you think, UIL and the state of Texas might need to do to promote track and field more, but especially the throwing side of things?
Oh, I think in Texas, especially, that football hurts us.
Yeah.
Big time. And it's sad because I think the coaches hurt the athletes as well, because they're so football driven that they're not seeing that there's 100 kids that are going for the same goal of making, going to college or whatever in the same position, versus there's one kid over here that can be a dang good thrower, but you're forcing them to stay in football, or vice versa. And then for girls, no girl wants to throw because they think it's for bigger, for the bigger girls.
Yeah.
How I used to say I was a sprinter, and I was fast. I'll admit that. I was on the 4x1 at Mansfield.
I saw that. You had a time. I saw that on athletic.net. I was like, look at her. You were in second leg, I believe.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, I wasn't even the slowest leg either. So
Nice.
Yeah, so and I think that's what hurts in the girls' side of throwing, is they're not realizing that you can be fit and throw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that's usually where, if you can't sprint, if you can't jump, you're going to go be a thrower.
Right. Right.
And that's great advice. We, part of this is really trying to grow the sport and throwing in the state of Texas. And that's why kind of what we do. And that's great advice. And you are somebody that people need to look up to and follow. And we said this in the introduction, and of course you didn't hear it. You're by far a legend when it comes to throwing in the state of Texas, male or female, because your high school record probably will never be broke.
No, records are meant to be broke.
There is one girl being coached by Adam Setliff that she's knocking on the door, and
Get it.
She's
a sophomore.
Yeah, she'll be a junior, and so she's very, very talented. So she might be the one coming down the road. But yeah,
that's awesome. I'll have to reach out to her for sure. I reached out to Valerie when she was in high school, when she was throwing in the 180s, and I was like, "Hey, go get that record." Look at her now.
Yeah, no, that had to be amazing. Was it amazing for you to watch her throw, but an American? And I know Stephanie Brown won it as well, but to see what Valerie did in this past Olympics, it had to be refreshing for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, just, I feel like USA throws for a while was kind of getting, not as up there with everybody when we had a name for ourselves, and then it kind of went away. And I think Val and everybody else, I mean, USA throws right now is insane.
Yes.
And I think they're all really doing a great job of representing, and really actually, on paper, we have so many people that could win, in different events and stuff, but how many times does that actually happen? And everybody's doing a really good job of executing that.
Yeah. It was to see Ryan, break the world's record and then follow up after he broke the indoors record, and what he done with the gold medal, and what Valerie's done. What was impressive? And what impressive about Valerie, she just wins, the Diamond League. So she validated that gold medal as well.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, no, it's definitely consistent. You'll have those throwers that will have one really good throw and then never throw it again.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see her be pretty consistent with that.
Wow. Awesome. Well, man,
this has been very enjoyable.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. Again, I apologize for waiting for 50 something episodes. I'm seriously, we talked about it and we were like, she's not going to be on our stupid podcast.
Well, we can cut this part out. So I'll say, because my daughter was a sophomore when you were a senior at Mansfield High School. And so she said, I'm always going to get second place behind Shelbi Vaughn. So we were that Shelbi Vaughn this, and she went on to throw at SFA and do all of that. But I was like, we need to have Shelbi Vaughn on. But as the mom of the little girl who had to get second or third,
you had a little grudge.
And I was like, he was like, are you going to be mean? I'm like, no, she's probably an amazing person. But we didn't like having to throw
to.
No, but it was awesome. I always tell kids I got to witness her throwing in high school, saw all of your high school meets and all that. So yeah. I even talked to your mom a couple of times. I think I was like, I think your mom is how I knew there was summer track or knew there was something beyond, because at a meet I stood out there and I was like, what she throws like really far. What do y'all do? How do y'all do all this? So that kind of put it in my brain. I was like, oh, there's summer track. What is that?
Yeah.
How do you do that? So, which led us to seek out people for my daughter and get the opportunity to go through.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, it was awesome.
Do you still talk to Coach Moore? Have you talked to her or Laura and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I talked to her like 2 days ago.
Really? When's the last time you talked to Chico?
Probably when I went out there for a track meet.
Oh, really? Okay.
A couple months ago.
Wow. That's cool too, that you don't, I love the fact that you still have communication with all the people that's kind of guided you in your path. A lot of times people get jaded because, oh, you left me to go over here and you didn't like how I coached you and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You've done a hell of a job of choosing the right people to help you get to where you were, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I've actually even reached out to Adam too, because I've mentioned I'm working with Ryan, but Ryan's in Arizona, so we can't obviously see each other every day. So I felt like Adam might be a good option. And obviously he's helped me in the past, so I don't see why he wouldn't be able to help me now.
Yes.
So I've reached out to him, and when I get into that time where I am starting to throw again, I think we're going to try to get together here and there.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
So you have his cell and stuff? Because I can.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just make sure. Yeah, he's a great guy. I am a big fan of Adam.
Mm-hmm.
He will blow your mind with talking discus.
Oh yeah. Adam's the one that got me started in lifting too.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
When we had him on the podcast, I think my eyes glazed over because it just how intelligent he was with all the analyzing and all the technique stuff, and I'm just like,
well, and that's why
wow.
I didn't get to work with Adam very long because it was right before Texas relays, and then I had my senior season, and then went off to college.
Yeah.
And so he only worked on a few things here and there, and so I'm almost wondering, because to me I feel like it's kind of a clean slate. Like I have my bad habits that I had before, but I also am building into a brand new athlete. I feel after having a baby that I feel like it'd be a great opportunity for him too. And I don't have anything to mess up. I'm throwing like 55 meters. So there's nothing to mess up there.
And being older and, understanding technique a little more, like you said, you were never very technical. Well, now you're probably going to think more as that maturity and all of that instead of just the natural. So you make it understand him a lot better than I did.
Oh yeah.
He's a great guy. I love him. We talk all the time. I haven't talked to him much because the summer and all that type of stuff, but yeah, he's a great guy. So maybe if we can get some sessions together, we can go. I'll come over and watch y'all throw or something. So
okay, yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. And we want some cookies too, and I'll even pay full price.
Okay.
All right, I'll pay full price. Well, we'll pay crumble prices. Well, thank you so much. Thank your family for watching your little one while you do this.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Great seeing you. Great meeting you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll see you down the road.
Bye.
We would just love. I just want to thank Shelbi for being on our little small podcast, Talking Throws Texas Style. What a legend in the world of throwing, and what she was able to accomplish at such a young age. And I don't want to compare it to maybe some child movie star or anything like that, but there was a lot of pressure to be that young to do what she did, but at the same time to turn out so great.
Yeah.
To be a mom now and to have, there's a life beyond throwing, and I think at an early age she might have got caught up in that or something like that, or could have got caught up in that, but she stayed level-headed.
Yeah. I think she said that she didn't realize she was good until she hit that national record.
Yeah.
I think, and I didn't say it while we were talking to her, but that's just that kind of being. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's just that being humble. Like, you got to have a little bit of that humility of knowing, well, okay, this looks good, but then I'm not that good. Sometimes kids miss out on that because they're like, well, I'm so good. And then
I don't have to listen to you.
Yeah, but she was like, well, I mean, I see the marks and I know I go to meets and I've beaten people a lot, but am I real? Just that's that kind of always, I don't know, inner desire. What's the word? Humility, I think is the right word. Of being humble. And knowing that you can still grow and learn. Like she said, with all the different coaches she had, she was willing to listen to them.
Being coachable,
very coachable.
And it takes someone who has that mentality to go from a Coach Moore to, I can't remember Laura's name, McClellan. Okay. Yeah. Then to have Coach Barry, and then, go to Mansfield Legacy and have all that. Then, you're introduced to Adam, and you take stuff to Adam, and then you go to Chico, and there's a language barrier and all that type of stuff. Golly, she's had 5 or 6, and they've all had a strong impact on her life. But the amazing thing is she still improved. Yeah. She still, whether it was 5 feet, 2 feet, or 1 inch, she still had an improvement. And you wonder how far she could have thrown maybe if she didn't have that back injury in her freshman year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what she does moving forward now. A mom, knowing what she's known, having the experience that she has. And like she said, I'm kind of a clean slate. I'm kind of starting recreating myself as a new athlete. As the new older mom version. Let's see what I can do. And someone tell her that she can't, because then she will.
Yeah, that's true. And I think too, there's a maturity and wisdom to being a mom now and being her age, and she's experienced a little bit of adversity in life. And now she's maybe can refocus that athletic ability, the God-given ability that she has, and put it in, and maybe she can get with somebody like Adam and Ryan Whiting, and maybe kind of mold her into what she is going to be in 2 to 3 years, to see if she can make that Olympic team, because I'm betting that she has a shot to make it, and especially what's going on in the U.S. and women's discus now. Could you imagine a finals with Shelbi Vaughn and Valerie Almond and Kelsey Cord, and then Desiree and Rachel Dinkoff.
Daisy.
She's
not American.
Daisy's not American, but still, for sure. So, well, we want to thank Shelbi for being on Talking Throws Podcast, Texas Style. We appreciate it, and we'll see y'all down the road.
All right, let's thank our sponsors again. Texas Track and Field Coaches Association. Go check them out at ttfca.org. Like Jason said at the beginning, lots of meets being posted. It's getting that time of year to start thinking about track season. 4throws.com. Go to 4throws.com. Follow your implements and Porta-Circle. Don't use the weather as an excuse for not being able to do training with Porta-Circle, because you can put that out there. It's a great visual to use. Use the code TalkingThrows10 to get 10% off. And then Ready Up Athletic Development. If you're in the Austin area, reach out to Zach Phillips. Go to readyupad.com and follow them. We say this every week, but follow him on Instagram and then Facebook. He's always doing some great stuff out there.
Hello, Talking Throws Texas podcasters. I'm Bruce Caldwell. I'm here today to introduce the FiberSport Discus. Yes, many of you thought I only made great vaulting poles. I have been bringing quality discuses to the throwers' hands for over 40 years. First as Cantabrian USA representative, then for the past 10 years as the Nelco Discus distributor. I introduced the yellow-plated discus for the plastic's best durability. If your FiberSport discus breaks, we replace it. Our studies have reached into the science of using a wind tunnel and adding microchips to the discus to find the spin, the gravity, the flight stability of the discus. We have found it's not about rim weight anymore. It's more about creating a balanced stability to allow the discus to fly and surf the wind. Our new FiberSport discus is made to be selected to fit your needs, no matter the weather, no matter the conditions. Check out our discus selection guide at fibersportdiscus.com and find a dealer in your area that sells our fine product. Thank you, Jason and Janelle, for allowing me to talk with your listeners on Talk and Throws Texas Style.
In DFW, we've got our trailer ready to roll.
Mobile Fitness Center.
It's a mobile fitness trailer.
No, it's not. It's a fitness station.
Fitness station. But it's a trailer.
We're not bringing hay with weights.
But hauling hay does this good. Anyway. Mobile fitness station. I'm gonna edit all this out. Whether you're a 5-star athlete, whether you're a mom, who's ready to get back in shape, middle-aged father, call Jason. He'll hook you up.
Yes.
Whether he brings a trailer with hay or whether he brings a mobile fitness station, either way, it'll help you get back in great.
Yeah, as long as Coach Janelle doesn't train you. So
That's not true.
And then also, too, finally remind everybody to go to thethornfactory.com where you can purchase these really cool shirts on our shopping apparel. So look cool at your next track meet.
Yes. All right. A new MC Hammer.
Yes.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.